What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the mountain. Well, I was trying to decide what channel to do this video on and came to the conclusion to do this on Come On Homesteading, which is the main channel, because I figured it would reach everybody from both channels on this channel, and that way I don't have to go over all of this information again. I've been putting it off for a couple of days. I've been taking some time to gather my thoughts. This is going to be an unedited video. It's going to be raw, to the point, and give you all a little insight of what's been going on in my life and some stuff that's going to come up in the future here soon that I've been kind of kicking around my head and stuff. As a lot of y'all know, I've been going through some health stuff here lately. A lot of health stuff here lately. And honestly, it's been going on for a lot longer than what y'all have known about. It's been going on for years, honestly. But it's getting to a point in my life where I really need to address it, because the pain and stuff is getting to a point where it's really hindering my day-to-day activities. And so I started to dive into it and start trying to find out what's going on and all of that. And as we run tests and dive deeper into it and stuff, more and more is kind of coming out. And well, it's got me thinking about my future, my past, my present, all of it, and got me doing really a lot of soul searching. I don't do a lot of these transparency videos here or there, but I felt like it's important for me to kind of give y'all what's going on and stuff, because it's going to at some point affect a lot to do with my channels as well, I believe. So I figured I'd kind of do an update video on what's going on, what I know, what I'm thinking, and also kind of give you a little bit of insight on why things have been going like they've been going here in this last year. Because I get a lot of comments about, why are you not doing this? Why ain't you doing that? You should do this. You should do that. So I'm going to try to clear up as many of these issues as I can today. As y'all know, I haven't put a video out in a couple of days on either channel. I put a video out the other day with Mike talking about that I had another doctor's appointment and got some more bad news. And I have more doctor's appointments coming up as well. So, and I said I would follow up. That way I could be a little bit more detail about everything. As you can see, I got edged up, got shaved up. I'm looking like a normal human being again. I grew my hair out and my face and everything, because I just went through surgery with the dental, and that's probably where we're going to end up starting at, is we'll go dental and then we'll go to the other health issues. Because I did go back to the doctor 2 days ago for the dental as well, and got some more news there and some updates and stuff like that. As you can see, I can smile again, even though it's temporary. We're still a long ways away from that being finished, unfortunately. I found that out. So yeah, I guess we'll dive in there to start with. That's probably the shorter of the two things. So a little back history. A lot of people don't know this, but I actually had fake teeth. I had a couple of originals in the bottom, but I had fake teeth for most of my adult life, since I was about 21 years old. When I was a teenager, in my later teenage years, I kind of got in an altercation back then, and I got jumped, and I got hit in the mouth with a crowbar, and in the back of the head with a crowbar, for that matter. And it cracked most of my teeth, and hairline fractures like through all of my teeth. And over the next couple of years, my teeth started breaking off and getting worse and worse. And then I ended up getting a major infection. And you ever seen that movie, The Elephant Man, where the head's all like swelled up and stuff like that? It's kind of what my head looked like. And the doctor said that I needed to get it addressed, because if it got into my sinuses and got into my brains, it could be life-threatening. So at the time, I was around 20, 21 years old. Can't remember exactly when I got it done. And I didn't have much money. I was just starting out, starting to get my feet out from up underneath me. I can't say I was just starting out. I actually been on my own since I was pretty young. But didn't have much money. I was an iron worker, and I took my income tax that I had and went and got pretty much most of them removed except for a couple there at the bottom, and got fake teeth. Didn't have much money, so I didn't get put under or nothing like that. They just pretty much gave me some Novocaine shots and started snatching. And the doctor said I was one of the toughest ones that's ever sat in his chair. I said, no, I'm one of the brokest ones that's ever sat in your chair, because if I could have afforded it, I would have got put under. But it was like $100 a tooth more to get put to sleep at that particular place. So pretty much I was a young adult throughout my whole life with fake teeth, which was an adjustment for me, embarrassing, stuff like that. But luckily they did a good job, and you could never tell that I actually had that. I'm sure none of y'all knew either. But the ones that I had were actually temporary and was supposed to be replaced in a year. Well, in a year, I didn't have the money to get the new ones, and the other ones just fit well. I never had to use anything to keep them in. The bottom ones were wired to a couple of existing teeth that was right there, and everything just worked, so I kept them. So fast forward 27 years, and when I went to Bike Blues and Barbecue, I went to go flip my helmet down, and I went like that with my hand, and I hit my mouth on this side, and actually one of the teeth that were wired to loosened up. I felt it at dinner that night. I started eating a baked potato, a loaded baked potato. It was pulled pork loaded baked potato, which is a very soft thing, but I felt it move. And I went to the bathroom, and and I could see it moving, and I was like, "Ooh, that's not good." So I went to the dentist, and they did x-rays, and they found out that from me having fake teeth my whole adult life, it worn down my jawbone right there, my gum line, so much from setting. And that's partly my fault and just partly the nature of the beast. For one, being a young adult and dating and stuff like that, it's embarrassing when you're young to have fake teeth, and you're supposed to take them out at night, every night, and all that other stuff. And I did not, a lot of times, because I wasn't comfortable being around somebody without them. And so that played a part into the bone wearing down. And then plus it's just the nature of the beast of having them. So they told me after they did the x-rays that that tooth was actually no longer even connected to the bone, and they don't even know how it was in my mouth. And then when I took everything out, the dentist looked at it and was like, "Are those temporary?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he's like, "How long have you had them?" And I said, 27 years. And he was mind blown. He's like, "What?" And so he was very impressed with how well I took care of them over the years, because they're not supposed to last that long. So we discussed a lot of options and stuff like that. And one option was get rid of the loose one and the other one, and just have a full bottom with nothing. And I've always heard that those are the worst because they move around so much and stuff. And he said it would just be a lifelong annoyance. Or he said that I could do like rods and stuff in there and do these click-in ones or permanent ones. And so we went that option, and it cost a lot of money. Now, originally when we was talking about it, he said, yeah, about 4 weeks. And I think he misspoke. He meant to say months. And so I opted to go ahead and get it done before Thanksgiving. hoping that I would be good before Christmas, before my kids got here. We're kind of find out it's a 4-month deal, so I'm not going to be okay for Christmas either. I do have the temporaries in here now, and they're not perfect by any means. They kind of hurt. So I'm trying to get my jaw used to those. I'm wearing them some throughout the day and then taking them out and trying to build up strength there. So it's been an interesting thing. They did take the stitches out a couple of days ago, and the lady that took my stitches out said I'm healing extremely well and I'm healing very fast. So that was positive. And but apparently they can't even touch it for like 2.5, 3 months or something like that. So I have my next appointment on like February the 5th. And I guess that's when they're going to put the actual studs in and stuff, and then do the kind of impressions or whatever for the bottoms, and then they'll start making the bottoms and all of that. So it's probably going to be towards the end of February before I actually get done with the dental side. It's been a process. Like I said, thinking it was going to take 4 weeks to 4 months is a little deflating. I'm not going to lie. So it's been like 3 weeks and I haven't had like a real meal. I've been drinking a lot of protein shakes and stuff like that. But pretty much my past is catching up to me in more ways than one. So that's the dental side. It is what it is. I'm doing whatever I have to do to make sure that I'm good. And being that the temporary ones lasted me 27 years, I'm hoping that this set right here lasts me for the rest of my life. So that's the hope. Let's hope so. I am very careful whenever it comes to my mouth and stuff like that. I try to make sure that I don't hit my mouth and all of that. But doing all the type of stuff I do out here, wrenches slip and, you're prying on stuff, things happen. So I can't say that nothing's ever going to happen. But so that's been an adjustment for me right now. And honestly, during the holidays, I kind of get into my feelings a little bit emotional anyways, because my kids are not here and a lot of stuff. So naturally, this time of year, I always do like an audit for myself this time of year. I don't really do the like New Year's resolutions and stuff like that. I kind of, around the holidays, it just kind of kicks in and I just kind of do a full evaluation of my year. And I come up with things that I can work on, things that I felt like I've done well on, and things that I can improve, and things that I would like to improve in the future. I do it every year. And I give myself an honest assessment. If I drop the ball on something, I'm honest with myself, because if you're not honest with yourself, then it doesn't work. So about this time of year, I'm already kind of in my head anyways, kind of working through all of that. So dealing with all this health stuff that I'm finding out, and the dental surgery and all of that, on top of that has been a lot. Has been a lot on me. And then plus trying to work and trying to get things done and also be there for others and stuff. That's a big part of my life, guys, is helping others. I enjoy it. It's good for me. It's good for my mentals, I guess. I enjoy giving back and trying to help as much as I can. And I like seeing everybody around me rise up. Yeah, I like seeing everybody succeed and do well and everything like that. And then it means a lot to me. It's really part of my fabric. Hold on one second. I've been getting a lot of spam calls. It's part of the fabric of who I am, really. So I try to make that a front and center part of my life. And so I continue that. But that's getting harder for me to do because of this next thing that we're talking about. So 2.5 years ago, if y'all remember, I got very, very dizzy and just off out of the blue out there working when me and Mike was out there doing the siding on the tiny house. And then I found out that my blood pressure was through the roof, like critical. The machine kept saying critical, critical. And so I went to the doctor, and I haven't been right ever since. And they've been trying to get my blood pressure right and all of that, and they never did get it like really low. They got it lower, but it really never got right. And then I also developed something that I've never had in my life after that, which is anxiety. I've never dealt with anything like that in my life. I've done a lot of dangerous stuff in my life, dangerous work and all kinds of stuff, and just never really been like an anxious, anxiety type person. But ever since then, I started developing with that. And it's not all the time. It kind of comes and goes out of nowhere. So I've been learning about that as well. And they got it a little bit better, but my energy level and everything has been bad off ever since then. So fast forward a year. This year, I just haven't felt right all year. And if y'all have noticed, I haven't done any big building projects by myself here on the mountain like I typically do. I've been helping other people with projects and stuff like that, but I haven't took on anything up here significantly. I've done a lot of stuff this year. A lot's gotten done this year. A lot of achievements that I'm proud of. But a lot of the stuff that I wanted to do, like this cabin, I didn't start because I didn't know what was going on with me. And just real weak. And from January of this past year to now, I hurt 10 times worse than what I did. I always woke up every morning hurting and hurt throughout the day. I have for the last 10, 15 years. And but it's increased tenfold this year. And I'm getting older and stuff. I'm about to be 49 years old. And so I was figuring it was age, just starting to get older. And I've had a rough past. For some of y'all that's new here and stuff and that don't know, I was actually an iron worker for many years. I owned a steel company for about 12 years. So I was a welder, iron worker, and that's a rough life. There's nothing heavy about building steel buildings at all, or nothing light about building steel buildings. Everything's heavy. The tools, the work belts, all of that. Plus I fell off a building. I fell off the top of a Walgreens one summer when I had the flu. I blacked out and hit the ground. I had a bar joist under pressure sling up on a crane and like bungee up in the air and come down on my head and split my hard hat in half and knock me out. I had a big old girder fall on my legs and set me down on another one and had big indentions like across my legs for like 2 weeks, black and blue. Just a lot of stuff. Quite a bit of drama to my back growing up as well. And so painful, rough type stuff. Well, I found out like 10 years ago I had a cracked vertebrae. It was just one section. It was actually the little thing that goes on the side that stabilizes your thing was cracked. And they said as long as it never broke all the way through, I'd be good. But, I need to wear back braces and stuff like that. So I figured it was just that. But it started getting a lot worse. So a couple of months ago, I started going to the doctor. And, well, I found out it's a lot worse than that now, 10, 15 years later. They found 3 cracks in my spine now instead of just the one. Degenerative disc issues. Some other stuff that I can't pronounce. It's not good. And also arthritis and then in my neck, I have a twisted vertebrae. And then, so I knew all about that from the first x-rays and stuff, and that was bad enough. So they were suggesting pain management and MRIs and all that other stuff, which I have 2 MRIs on Monday, for the lower and middle of my back, because all of it's pretty much from the top of my shoulder blades to my booyaka. And I have this thing that happens into my right shoulder blade. It comes out of nowhere, and it feels like there's a baseball up underneath my shoulder blade and a lot of pressure. And then that nerve that goes up to your ear, it like just starts making your neck hurt and everything else. And sometimes it lasts a couple hours. Sometimes it'll last a week. And I never knew what that was happening, why that happened. And I've talked to doctors about it before, never really got a clear answer. And they was just like stretch and stuff like that, which I do, guys. I do stretches and stuff like that. Not probably as much as I should, but I've been increasing that. We'll get to that here in a minute. So I've been dealing with that as well. And I just hurt like all the time now. And another backstory kind of leading into this as well too, right along with being an iron worker and all of that, I also had a really major foot surgery about the same time that I found out I had the cracked spine, because I was trying to figure out why I was hurting so much. And the doctor said it was one of the worst feet he's ever operated on. I went through like a year of physical therapy and shots, the cortisone shots and stuff. Nothing was working. They finally decided to do surgery. And when he got in there, he said it was really, really bad. And he told me that it would never be right, but it'd be better. And that I might have to, in the future, have another surgery. So I do have an appointment for the foot specialist as well coming up here soon, because my foot has been hurting a lot more, and I can only wear shoes for about 3 months. As soon as they start wearing in any kind of way, it starts shooting pain in my legs to my lower back, and it causes my lower back to hurt, and it kind of does a chain reaction thing. So we're getting there. We're going all around. Then we'll get into the future and why certain things has happened this year. So I'm going to get that checked out as well. I'm trying to get everything checked out right now and try to figure out how bad everything is, what's going to need to happen, and what direction I need to do with everything. So I went back to the doctor the other day, and when we was looking at everything, she noticed that at some point in my past, I actually broke my back completely. Not cracked, not that, actually snapped my back. And that could have happened at any time. It could have happened when I fell off the building or whatever. And back then, guys, in ironwork and stuff like that, you don't have insurance and stuff. And when you're a single dad and stuff like that, you don't have money. You just work through the pain, right? And I made enough to take care of my daughter, but I didn't make enough. I made too much to get any kind of assistance or anything like that. So I had no insurance. I had nothing. I just worked through the pain. But she showed me on the x-ray, you got your vertebrae there. They're supposed to be evenly spaced and all that, and nice and square and stuff like that. Well, up there at the top of my shoulder blades, one of my vertebrae there on the back side, like facing the back, is like down like this. And the front side, like facing my ribs, is up like this, like it's catwalking, like the whole thing just fell down. And she said that happened from breaking my back. And so she got really concerned. And then we started talking about all these different options and stuff like that. And she actually prayed for me and stuff, and asked me about pain level and all that other stuff. And I put like 6 or 7 on the pain level that I deal with on a daily basis. And she told me there's no way it's got to be 10 from what all she's seeing on these x-rays. And I told her I have a high pain tolerance, and I've just been used to it for so many years. And she said, well, I know you're hurting. So, and I agreed, I am. And I told her it's a lot worse from the beginning of the year to now. So I tweaked something this past year. And so I told her, you know, I really don't want to have surgery. I said, I don't want to have a surgery unless I can't walk, where I have no other options, because I've heard horror stories about back surgeries. They rarely go well. And once you have one, you end up having 50. And I don't want to go through that unless I absolutely have to. And then she was talking about pain management and pills and stuff like that. And I mean, that type of stuff is running this country right now. And I don't want to have to take pain medicine every day of my life. unless I absolutely have to because of the addictive properties and all that other stuff. I don't want to end up being a statistic when it comes to that, because what makes me think that I'm one that won't get hooked on it, and it just scares me. And then so then we went physical therapy and the shots in the back, which is scary too. So what we're going to do, what we came up with is we're going to get the MRIs, and that way she can get a lot more information, because she said the MRIs is going to show a whole lot more. And then we're going to come up with a plan. More than likely it's going to be the back shots, and I got her to print me out a whole stack of paper of all the different exercises that they do with the pain management, and I'm going to start doing that here at the cabin. Because the problem with pain, or the physical therapy, because the problem with physical therapy is it's 2 hours away from me, like each direction. So it's 4 hours, and they're going to want me to go once or twice a week. So if I can do it here at the cabin to start out with, to see if it helps, that'd be great. If I have to, I have to. I'll do what I have to do. So as of now, that's kind of where we're at with everything. My back is messed up pretty much from the top of my shoulder blades all the way down to my booyaka. It seems like every time they run another test, they find more stuff wrong with it. I'm bracing myself for these MRIs, because even both of the doctors, her and my primary care doctor, after they seen all my x-rays, they said that the MRIs is probably going to show a whole lot more damage. So we're going to see. I got my fingers crossed. And then I got the foot doctor coming up, and also my wrist is back to hurting just a little bit. Not as bad as it was. It's definitely a little better. But they're also sending me back for that too, to get more testing done on that, to find out exactly what's happening there. But this is a lot better than it used to be, and that's honestly the least of my concerns right now. But I figure while I'm doing this full body tune-up, I might as well make sure everything's the best that it can be. So I said all of that just to kind of catch y'all up on what we're about to talk about next and stuff. So that, guys, is the main reason why I haven't done a lot of stuff. Everybody keeps calling. That is the main reason why I haven't done a lot of stuff that I said I was going to do this year. And I've kind of pivoted and done a lot of smaller projects and stuff, like the goat fence and the cleaning up the cabin and the yard and getting rid of all the clutter and organizing a lot more and stuff like that, and the greenhouse. And you see me doing a lot of Uber work, you know, clearing and leveling land. And we've had a lot of progress out there at HQ with water and fiber and electric and all of that. And, you know, grass and all of that stuff, and the shops and cleaning and all of that kind of stuff. I've stayed busy all year. I've been very, very productive. It just wasn't the big projects that I was talking about. And I'm the type that has to make progress, or else I get into my head. So I'm happy with where I stand right now at the end of 2025. It has been a very productive year. It's been a great year. There's been a lot of blessings and a lot of really, really good stuff that's happened this year. I've gotten more property. I've been able to help other people with property, and help them start their dreams and all of that, and help quite a few people this year. Like I said, that's very high on my list. And also accomplished quite a bit here as well. And so I'm not mad at how this year's went as far as progress goes. It's just not the progress that I was wanting to make. I really wanted to start on this cabin this year. And I really wanted to finish the tiny house this year, which the tiny house is coming here soon. We're on the down stretch of the tiny house, guys. To be honest with you, if I jump back on that tiny house, probably a month and a half, it can be completely done. But there's a reason why I haven't done it yet, because my son's moving here. My son and my daughter's moving here, which is a blessing. And I'm so happy, so happy to have my kids close to me again, and my grandkids. That's the biggest blessing of this whole year, is that's coming. Now, Levi, I don't know how long Levi will be here. It's going to be months, but I don't know how long he's staying. It's not going to be a permanent move for him. He just wants to come be with his dad for a while. And my daughter, though, is moving up here full time, like full on with my grandbabies. So I'm so thankful for that. And that's going to help with a lot of stuff with me as well. And as I start dealing with some of these things, if I have to have surgeries and stuff like that, I will have my daughter up here to help me and stuff like that. So I'm very excited about that. And as far as why Levi is here, Levi is going to help me do some of these bigger projects that I've been scared to do. To be honest with you guys, I've been scared to do it here by myself, because if something happens up here on this mountain and I'm by myself and my back goes out or something like that, and I'm on a ladder or I'm lifting something at an odd angle and it takes me out, then it could be life-threatening if I can't get to a phone to call for help or something like that. So I've been trying to be smarter about this. Normally, guys, I used to just would work through stuff like this. Just, I'm tougher than it, type stuff. But bottom line is I'm not as young as I used to be, and I feel it now, and I'm worried about it. And I don't want it to make it worse. So having my son come up here is right on time and a blessing, and to be able to do projects with my son and have those memories and stuff, because that's some of my son's best memories, is working with his dad. He misses it and he wants to come up here and build with me and stuff, and he talks about it all the time. And he used to be my little helper kind of growing up, and now he's grown up into a man, and a quite capable one at that, from working with me all those years. So I'm really excited to take on some of those projects with my son and my daughter, because I'm going to be helping my daughter build her new dream here as well. And my daughter will also be here on the mountain helping me as well, learning and stuff like that. So there's a lot of exciting things coming up. So I just wanted to be transparent with you guys of why the bigger projects didn't happen this year. It's not a matter of didn't want to do it. It's just a matter of it wouldn't have been smart and would have been dangerous for me to try to do it by myself right now in my current situation. I hate the fact that I even have to think about that kind of stuff right now, honestly, but I'm trying to be smart, because I do have kids and I do have grandkids that I want to be able to play with and watch grow up, and hopefully see their kids and be a great grandpa and still be able to be active and be a part of their lives as well. I'm really worried about the quality of life in the future if things don't change, and if I don't make some changes and stop pushing myself so hard, of where I'm going to be in the next 10 years as far as health-wise. I truly don't feel like I have another 10 years in me to work at the level that I work right now and still be able to have a quality of life afterwards. So this is the next phase. I've had a lot of thoughts, guys. I've thought about selling the mountain. I'm not going to lie. As much as I don't want to, and as much as I love it here, there's part of me that thinks that it might be smarter for me to sell off Come On Mountain and the 10 acres behind me, pay off all of my debt, and move down there to HQ, where it's closer to town, easier to access, and have electric, water, fiber. There's 5 acres there. I plan on giving my daughter half of it, and I plan on living on the front half. Really, my daughter end up with probably about 3 acres, and I'll end up with 2. And I'm thinking about building something there and making it to where, as I get older and I start needing some help, I'll have my daughter and grandbabies next to me to be able to help me out in the future. Leave it in the comments. Let me know what y'all think about that plan. I've also thought about splitting up Come On Mountain and selling part of it, kind of like down there at the Mike area and all of that, and to help me pay off certain parts of it and allow me to be able to get the road fixed and get electric up here, so I have more of the amenities up here, making my life a little bit easier up here, and still keeping a good portion of it, about 15 acres, because I have 30 up here. So basically keeping half of it. And and staying on the mountain. So there's a lot of options kind of going through my head. I will continue this lifestyle. I will continue having animals and that and the building and a lot of stuff that I'm doing now. It's just I'm going to have to scale back, and I don't feel like I can't do nothing right now, but I do feel like as the years go on, it's going to get harder to do this. So I need to make a clear decision on what I want to do and go for it. That way, once I do start getting to that point, all I have to do is maintain stuff instead of create all of this stuff. So, yeah. And then, a fun fact, when I started this channel, guys, it was created originally to be a travel channel. That's why you hear me always say, let's go on another adventure, because I love traveling. I love seeing new things and stuff like that. And I'm thinking about getting a nice home built and a comfortable place and travel more and bring y'all along on those journeys as well. And kind of step back from the building and kind of working myself to death every single day and start traveling and enjoy life a little bit. So leave it in the comments. Will you support me in that direction if I do turn into a homesteading / travel channel a little bit, or will you jump ship? Because I don't know. I've got a lot of things going on in my head right now. It's tough for me though, guys. My whole life I've been known as a worker, as a go-getter, as a motivated, self-driven, like, force. You know, I pride myself on it. I've always prided myself in showing my kids and raising my kids and showing my kids a work ethic and a drive and if you set your mind to something and you work your booyakaka off as hard as you can, and you can accomplish anything. And to have to think about not being able to work like that anymore it's a lot for me, guys. It's a lot. One other time in my life, I had a doctor tell me that I wasn't allowed to work. I was getting dizzy when I worked for the college, and they couldn't figure out why. I would just start getting dizzy out of nowhere, and they ran all kinds of tests on me: EKGs, scans, sonograms, MRIs, you name it. They ran it on me and never did figure out why. And they made it to where I couldn't work for a month. Refused, wouldn't release me to go back to work. And I cried like a baby in his office. Like a baby, just broke down. And guys, if you know me, I don't cry. I'm just not a crier. I'm not that guy. But when that man told me I wasn't allowed to work anymore, I broke down and cried like an infant and couldn't control it. And I ain't there yet, but I see it coming. I see it coming to where I'm not going to be able to be the worker that I am. And mentally, guys, it's a lot for me. It's a lot to swallow. It's a lot to swallow. I ain't there yet. I can still outwork somebody half my age, but I know if I don't stop doing that, the quality of life later on in life is not going to be a quality. So I'm trying to be smart about this thing. I appreciate all of y'all's support in this, guys. For all of y'all that's been running my playlist while I'm going through all of this, because I'm sure y'all have noticed I haven't put out as many videos, especially on Keeping It Real. I've stayed on a pretty decent schedule here. But on Keeping It Real, I haven't put out as many as I normally do, because honestly, guys, the mental space just hasn't really been there. I've been doing so much thinking and in my brain. It's hard for me to just come up with things to talk about without bringing up this. And I didn't want to just do bits and parts and drag it on. I wanted to do a full transparency video with you guys, because y'all are a big part of my life, a big part of my life. and y'all make it to where I can live this lifestyle, and I greatly appreciate it. So I want to kind of fill y'all in, and hopefully for some of the ones that has wondered why I haven't done this, and why haven't you built this yet, and why haven't you did this, and why haven't you did the chicken coop yet, and all this other stuff, now you know why. So we're still going to make progress. We're still going to be making videos. We're still going to be doing a bunch of cool stuff around here. I'm waiting on the cavalry to get here, guys. I'm waiting on a little bit of help before I bite into something too big. But we're steady going to make progress and do stuff. We actually got something. I'm going this weekend, guys. It's going to get something that's going to change the game around here. That's going to be a big help for the mountain as well. So still a lot of exciting stuff going on. It's just not the big projects that I was hoping to get done this year. This has been a big one, guys. So I think I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. But I love every single one of y'all. Leave it in the comments. Tell me what y'all think. Tell me what y'all think about some of the possible future plans. Y'all's opinions do matter to me, and it kind of helps with me kind of going through my brain and trying to figure out what's the best step, because I don't want to make a misstep. I want to make the best step. But I love every single one of y'all. Thank y'all for y'all support. Keep running those playlists, guys. It helps out a lot in the middle of this, especially during the holidays. Love every single one of y'all. Till we see each other again, come on. Let's go on another adventure.